What's cracking? What's cracking, yo? What's cracking, yo? What's cracking, yo? How's everybody doing? Oh man, nah, everything, everybody. I posted this late, man. I had thought I had posted it, and then when I went to come on, it wasn't up, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" So I had to, you know, repost it. Yeah, everybody chilling, man. We got Agent Zero in the building. Couch Merlot, Chico Macha. Chico Macha, you better watch your back, man. Chico Macha, watch your back, bro. I can't save you, man. Um, I can't save you, bro. Chico Macha. How's everybody doing out there, man? Let's get it cracking, man. I ain't gonna, I don't see what this guy told.
Hello, I want to talk about strategies to reduce the incidence of knife crime in the UK. Um, and I think it's possible. And I think we've got to adopt a positive attitude about this. But first of all, we must never, ever forget the victims of knife crime. Not only the terrible incident that occurred in Southport, but all victims of knife crime too. So we need to make positive changes in the names and for the sake in the names of all these victims. And my first idea is that we should never forget them. And we need to put a special memorial up to all the victims of knife crime that have occurred over the last, say, 20 years with all their names. And there should be an annual remembrance. And on that day, we should set a target on the Remembrance Day to reduce knife crime in the UK every year by a certain percentage every year in the name of these victims. So,
Oh God. Y'all are hopeless over there in England, man. It's very easy. Action, man. Action. Find a man to stand up and take action. You talking all these complex strategies and shit. Just take action. Press one. Let your nuts fall out of your stomach and take action against the knife crime. Assertive, decisive action, man. Y'all are hopeless over there in the UK. Literally hopeless. Um, that generation of men in the UK are going to go down in infamy, man. Y'all will be remembered as a stain on British on the history of Britain. Every man born between what 1940 and now will go down as a stain on the legacy of Britain. Every white man. Mm. Let's see what else is going on.
Right now at 5:30, a brutal machete attack over a dog dispute in the Bronx.
I need someone to do something because we're not safe.
What the victim's family told CBS as this machete-wielding attacker remains on the loose. Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson.
Welcome back. I'm Jessica Moore. The victim is in the hospital tonight after some of the fingers he lost in that attack were reattached.
His family is desperate to find this suspect, and Dave Carlin spoke to them today. We do need to warn you that some of the details of this attack are graphic.
Inside Bellevue Hospital behind me is a man who had 4 of his fingers sliced off by a stranger swinging a machete. The victim and the machete man each had a dog with them. The meeting captured on video from a sidewalk security camera for a deli on Southern Boulevard in West Farms. Friday's video shows a brief flash of the 2-foot-long blade. We are not showing the severing of fingers on the left hand of 34-year-old Taekwon Young.
He's a lefty. He does everything with that hand.
Here is the victim's aunt, Tashima Young.
He's angry. He's hurt. He feels unsafe.
She says the injury was the result of an argument over dogs. Police said the suspect's animal was unleashed and was up close to Young's 4-year-old dog, Chanel. Seen here with Young's aunt and uncle.
He put up his hand from the man trying to decapitate the dog. So with him grabbing the blade and stopping the man from decapitating the dog, he lost his fingers in the process. So they was able to find 3 of the fingers. He just couldn't find the 4th finger.
The
dog. So with him grabbing the blade and stopping the man from decapitating the dog, he lost his fingers in the process.
Maybe somebody kicked it in the crate. Maybe somebody kicked it. Somebody's walking down the street and kicked his finger into the crate, or kicked it into the gutter or something. You know, New York City is kind of streets are kind of dirty. Somebody kicked it under like a newspaper stand, or maybe somebody just smashed it, stepped on it or something. He only found 3 of his 4 fingers. That sucks, man.
aunt, Tashima Young.
He's angry. He's hurt. He feels unsafe.
She says the injury was the result of an argument over dogs. Police said the suspect's animal was unleashed and was up close to Young's 4-year-old dog, Chanel. Seen here with Young's aunt and uncle.
He put up his hand from the man trying to decapitate the dog. So with him grabbing the blade and stopping the man from decapitating the dog, he lost his fingers in the process. So they was able to find 3 of the fingers. He just couldn't find the 4th finger.
The suspect ran away, seen wearing a tan-colored hat, pants, and boots, a gray hoodie, and a green vest.
This man is still on the loose, and he's walking around here with a machete inside his pants. How you not able to find this person?
Young is an MTA maintenance worker and will need additional medical procedures and therapy. Family members say Young is preparing to go back into surgery. In Kips Bay, Dave Carlin, CBS News, New York.
Victim, a 23-year-old who apparently never saw her attacker.
Fox 5's Lisa Evers is in Washington Heights, where this attack happened earlier today. Lisa, what are you hearing tonight?
Well, Stephen, Natasha, we're here inside that 168th Street subway station in Washington Heights where the A and the C train stop, where that attack happened this morning. This is one of the stations that has seen an influx of police officers as part of the recent surge. Now, despite that, this morning, this 23-year-old woman was attacked, an attack that, if it had happened just seconds earlier, could have caused her instant death. Now, the NYPD tells us that about 9:20 this morning, the 23-year-old woman was waiting for the train on the northbound A train platform. As the train started moving into the station, police say 26-year-old Marquise Brazilis allegedly shoved the victim into the side of the train so hard.
Marquise Brazilis. Marquise Brazilis. Everyone hit that like button, man. Hit that like button for Marquise Brazilis.
Into the station, police say 26-year-old Marquise Brazilis allegedly shoved the victim into the side of the train so hard her body bounced back and she fell down onto the platform. She was rushed to the hospital and we're told is in stable condition. Now, police arrested the suspect soon after. We spoke with riders here who tell us that they are constantly worried about their safety, wish there were more police officers, but understand they can't be everywhere. Here's what they had to say.
I think it should be 24 hours watch with police, nighttime, daytime.
Black women are something else, man. The way they flipped this script, they flipped all their scripts. They don't want migrants. They don't want immigrants no more. Now they want police everywhere. What happened to defund the police, sister? He said, fuck that shit. We want 24-hour police.
Had to say.
I think it should be 24 hours watch with police, nighttime, daytime, and morning time.
Especially like inside the train, not even like because there's more like stuff going on in the train station.
Subway safety, there has to be more safety protocols for the passengers because a lot of us are just trying to get home from work or trying to get to work. And these days, we got to be on alert at all times because from anywhere we could get got.
It's scary to be down there. If we don't have police officers there, anybody can do anything to you. So we really need more.
Now, the NYPD tells us that the suspect is charged with reckless endangerment and other serious felonies. He's originally from New Jersey, but appears currently to be homeless. He's now behind bars at the Transit Bureau 3 district headquarters, awaiting to be taken to central booking, which is his next stop, where he'll be formally charged. We're live in Washington Heights. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Stephen, Natasha, back to you.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins me now from Chicago. Also with me is NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley here on set, and NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hilliard in Doral, Florida. So, Gabe, I'll start with you here. I understand you just took part in a ride-along with some ICE officers there in Chicago. What'd you see?
Hi there, Aaron. Good afternoon. Well, it just wrapped up a short time ago, and this is one of many targeted enforcement operations happening across the city of Chicago throughout the day. At one point, there were 10 teams of 10 or so federal agents fanned out across the city. And this is something that ICE says that it conducts every single day. But over the last few days, ever since President Trump took office, there's been increasingly more of an emphasis placed on them. Now, yesterday, ICE says nationwide, it arrested around 1,000 people. And since President Trump took office a week ago, the agency says that it's arrested more than 2,600. Now, what we saw today.
Okay, like that's still not 2,600. I mean, that's okay, but we need if you're gonna really make a dent in this, you're gonna have to get like at least 1,000 a day, man. At least 1,000 every day, man. because there's 365 days in a year. 1,000 a day is 365,000. Which is like a third of a million. So you need to be getting 1,000 on your bad day. Like on a bad day, y'all need to be arresting 1,000.
It arrested around 1,000 people. And since President Trump took office a week ago, the agency says that it's arrested more than 2,600. Now, what we saw today, we went out with one of those teams. We did witness one arrest, Aaron, but I will say we were out with him for about 5 hours, and it was a very painstaking process. They took them hours of surveillance and also hours of just door knocking in some cases. However, there was one instance where we saw an undocumented immigrant that ICE says they tried to look for yesterday, didn't find him at the address they thought he was at home. But today, however, a surveillance team spotted him at work, and that's when they decided to move in, and he was arrested. We then spoke to him at a processing facility on the outskirts of Chicago. ICE says that he had a lengthy criminal record. The immigrant said that some of those charges may have been dropped, although we verified with ICE that they weren't. But this undocumented immigrant now says that he is leaving behind a 5-year-old daughter here in the U.S., and now he faces deportation back to Mexico, Aaron.
The whole charges dropped shit. We know about that. These DAs drop charges all the time that the motherfucker did. Just because the charges is dropped doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means the DA is just fucking a Soros DA. So a lot of these motherfuckers is lucky because in these Chicago, DC, New York, LA, places like that, they got these Soros DAs. So we don't know how many of these illegal migrants are fucking criminals. And they just didn't get charges dropped, or the fucking case got thrown out, or whatever the fuck happened. The number of criminal migrants is most likely way higher than what they're telling us.
Very detailed account there, Gabe. I appreciate that. I do want to ask you to compare for me, if you can. I know you did an ICE ride-along during the Biden administration as well. Did you notice any differences between these two experiences?
That's right. We went along with ICE for another operation in December after President Trump's reelection, but before he had taken office. In that instance, it was in the outskirts of Boston. During the Biden administration, actually the last month for which data is available, back in September, ICE was averaging nearly 300 arrests per day. Now, during the Trump administration, again, I said that they had more than 1,000 arrests on Sunday. There does seem to be significantly higher numbers when it comes to the number of arrests. And then as well, Aaron, this administration is definitely putting more of a priority on getting that daily tally out there. Aaron?
So what happened was Biden, once the election got into the final months of the election, down the home stretch, they started fucking ramping up ICE. And they started prosecuting crime and shit. That's crazy, man. They waited until the election to start doing that shit.
And Gabe, before I let you go, I know you also spoke with Border Czar Tom Homan yesterday about these ICE operations. We played a little bit of that earlier. Did he acknowledge that not everyone arrested would fall into the category of violent criminal during these raids?
Certainly, and we've been seeing Trump administration officials saying that more and more over the last few days. They've been acknowledging that collateral arrests, and just so we're clear, Aaron, collateral arrests are when these ICE officers go to and look for one of their targets, but in the process of that, they could run across another undocumented immigrant that perhaps does not have a criminal record, but is either in the same house or in the same vicinity, and that's a collateral arrest. During the Biden administration, there were fewer of those, but I even spoke with ICE officers today, and they say that there will be collateral arrests. And in fact, anyone who is in this country illegally should prepare to be deported. And today, though, we did witness one instance where there were some ICE officers going up to a residence. They did knock on the door and they were let inside. They were looking for an undocumented immigrant. They spoke with what they told us were family members inside. It's not clear whether they were undocumented, but either way, ICE officers had the discretion whether or not to potentially take them into custody. They did not, because the people inside the house were cooperative, Aaron.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez for us in Chicago. Some really great observations there, Gabe. Thank you. I want to turn to Julia Ainsley here now and sort of get into the weeds. I know I can do this with you on some of this and how it all works. Gabe touched on it there, but I wonder what happens in the in-between here. We see the images of people being arrested. We see people being marched onto planes to face deportation. But what happens in between for these migrants?
By and large, most of those people are probably not the same people. As we understand it, a lot of the people, especially those on those military flights, had recently crossed the border. So these aren't people that ICE went to go arrest in the middle of U.S. Cities. Those who they're arresting in the cities have to then spend some time in ICE detention, that they're transported somewhere on the border. They may have in that time a chance to go before an immigration judge and make a case about why they should be in this country and not deported. It's a long process and it's costly. ICE right now is already looking at a $230 million budget shortfall, and that's under the operations they did under Biden. So as they want to ramp up these arrests, they have to find a place to house them and more planes to deport them.
Well, let's talk about that housing part of this. I mean, they're sending these folks to detention centers for the most part, I would imagine, but eventually, potentially, they could run out of space, right? What happens then?
Yeah, that's right. They're only funded for 41,500 beds, if you want to get into the weeds there. And they want to go to as many as 80,000 or 120,000 beds. So they're working with private prison companies. Those are going to be the big winners from all of this. And they're ramping up space. They're looking at military bases where they could build temporary facilities, basically tent cities to house migrants. None of that comes cheap, and all of that takes time. So it's a question of when you look at these nationwide enforcements, and we are expecting to see it over the week in other cities as well, how long are they going to be able to sustain that? Because you can arrest someone a lot faster than you can build a building.
Yeah, the arrests have been happening. The repatriation flights happened during the Biden administration, although not on military aircraft. Can you sort of compare for us, I guess, the numbers? As you look at the number of arrests that ICE has made, that ICE made during the Biden administration versus what we're seeing now?
Well, certainly the arrests have gone up. You're looking at 956 on Sunday. That is a very large number. It's the highest of the Trump administration so far. And that would be a big day for the Biden administration. On average in September, that's the latest month we have full public data for, they arrested 282 migrants per day. So that's quite a jump. That's significant. But the deportations in general haven't jumped that much. For example, there have been 4,000 sent back to Mexico. That's very average for a week under the Biden administration too. So it's a matter of seeing how quickly they can get these people through a pipeline. So we shouldn't just be looking at arrests. We should also be talking about deportations as well.
Well, let's talk about that then. I mean, we saw what happened over the weekend with Colombia. We know that there were some flights that were slowed down with Mexico as well. Is there concern in the administration about other countries perhaps pushing back or not accepting these repatriation flights?
They would probably say there's not concern because of the big diplomatic muscle that President Trump just flexed over the weekend when he posted on X that he was going to impose tariffs on Colombia and restrict visas for people to be able to come to the U.S. legally from Colombia. And so they would say, look, we have no concerns because we'll just put the full pressure on them. But there is an emergency meeting being called this week by leaders of Latin American nations about how they're going to handle this. They may find that they have strength in numbers, that if they start to push back, they might not have as many of these flights. And we should say Colombia didn't have a problem with the fact that there were Colombian nationals being deported back home. Right. They had a problem with the military flights. They thought that was inhumane. Some of these countries also might not realize that migrants have traditionally been in handcuffs and had shackles around their feet when they flew. That's normal. What's different is the military plane, the look of that.
Yeah, it's a cargo plane.
Of course. Yeah. And if they ever get to a point, and they've talked about this, where they'd start to deport nationals to countries they aren't from. For example, Venezuela continues to refuse to take back Venezuelans. Will they then send those people to somewhere like El Salvador? We'll have to see how all that plays out and what kind of diplomatic pressure the administration could apply there.
Okay, I know you're going to hang with us. I want to turn to Vaughn Hilliard, though, in Florida for us today. Vaughn, the White House is essentially declaring a victory in its brief dispute with Colombia, as we've been talking about. Can we expect to see this administration use?
Yo, they got to do more. They're not. It appears to me that they're not deporting enough people, man. It's from what they're saying. Is it just me? But it seems like they're not deporting a lot of people. They're not deporting. They're arresting people, but they're not deporting them, and they're not arresting that many more than the Biden administration did once they realized that the election was coming down the pipe. It just started. Now I want all these motherfuckers gone, man. I want them all out of here, man. Every last one of them, man. I want all of them out, man. Give it another week. I don't know, man. We'll see, man. I want all of them gone, man. Salute to the Great White Hope. He says they need to deport 20,000 a day. We've let in like 30 million, right? And they all have like 2 to 3 kids on average. 4 years is about 7.5 million deportations needed per year. No easy task. Decade project. Yeah, no, I got it, but I mean, I get that they're focusing on the criminal ones right now, and they want to get the criminals out, and I got that. But they still can deport more, man. We can't just rest on our law. We can't just think everything's taken care of. These people need to get out of here, man. Get them out of here. All of them. Every last one of them.
My name is Joe McNally. I'm the acting United States Attorney for the Central District of California. I'm joined here by Homeland Security Special Agent in Charge, Eddie Wong, and Cheryl Davies, the Director of Field Operations.
And welcome back, everyone, here live now from Fox. We do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you from Fox News' Bill Melugin reporting of a situation happening at the border right now. He is reporting per multiple law enforcement sources within the last hour, Border Patrol agents near Fronton, Texas, were fired upon from Mexico by suspected cartel gunmen as a group of illegal aliens were being brought across the river. I'm told that Border Patrol returned fire. Nobody hit on either side right there. And we are going to continue on with this as Texas DPS tells Bill Melugin that they are now patrolling the area and has a drone in the air and can see Mexican military assets now staging on the other side of the river there. So again, we are going to be following this story here for you on Live Now from Fox. It is very fluid at this moment, but this comes at a time when big changes are happening at the White House when it comes to border security, and a lot of these measures are taking place pretty much on a daily basis. We're also seeing mass deportations happening really now every day, as just yesterday, more than 900 people were picked up from major cities, from Boston to Los Angeles as well. And we were bringing that to you, just some of the many arrests that were happening yesterday, including an ISIS member that was accused there of crossing the border illegal as well. So again, some major disturbances though happening on the border. There's gunshots reportedly fired at U.S. Border Patrol agents. They are investigating right now, and we will keep an eye on this developing story for you all right here on Live Now from Fox.
If you've never heard of the Rooftop Koreans, you're missing out on.
I get back to him, man.
And welcome back, everyone, here live now from
An urgent warning for people traveling back and forth from Mexico. Officials say cartel members near Brownsville have been placing explosives along the roadway. The News 4 I-Team's Jordan Elder found out who they're targeting and why officials in both countries are urging you to be careful.
Don't touch, don't move, don't manipulate. Residents in Tamaulipas, which is across the border from Brownsville, woke up to a concerning message. Cartels are placing explosives like these along the roads.
It's a shame that those are images I thought I left behind in the combat zone in Iraq and Afghanistan. And now I never in a million years really thought that we would be seeing that so close to home.
Patricia Driscoll grew up along the border, later serving as a military contractor.
People who are from there, we don't think of our Mexican border as a war zone, and we don't want to.
She says this message is alarming for people in border cities who cross back and forth every day.
People thinking, well, I'm just commuting to work. I'm just commuting to see my family. And now I have to worry about terrorist-like devices.
This is a 24-hour command center that we have here in the border on the U.S. side.
Security experts like Jorge Luis Cisneros are watching these threats closely. His company provides protection for companies in the U.S. and Mexico.
The cartels are fighting each other, but they're not looking to hurt Americans or any travelers that are foreigners.
Some are still worried this could be retaliation or a warning. President Trump signing an executive order this week designating drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
I'm not sure that it changes their behaviors anymore, but it is definitely time for them to see that the United States is not going to allow it to continue business as usual.
Long-term violence could have big impacts on the economies of both countries.
Millions and millions of dollars that are.
Yeah, man. These people seem to be on edge, man. Let me see. Let me see these crazy ass women on The View, man. Let's see what The View was talking about today, man. Everyone hit the like button, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Shout out to I didn't get to my man Aster J yesterday. Salute to Michael, man, from yesterday, man. I forgot to read y'all messages, man. Salute to y'all from yesterday's show, man. Appreciate y'all. Yippee-yi-yi. Uh-oh. Whoopee.
Immigration rate, and I was, sweepingly pointing to Sunny Hostin because her face was saying something I felt she wanted to say verbally.
Yeah, I to answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted? I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain group or type of immigrant. Because if you
She's so racist, man.
No, I to answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted? I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain group or type of immigrant. Because if you look at the numbers, yes, the number of immigrants that come from Mexico or of Mexican born are the largest, but the next largest are Asians. 28% of them come. I don't think they walk across the southern border. I think they come by plane. The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they
Actually, that's not true. A lot of them are flying to Mexico and then walking across the border. That's not true at all. She doesn't understand what's going on. She's dead wrong there. They catch a lot of people from all over the world flying into Mexico and walking across the border. You don't have to go through any of the paperwork. You don't have to marry a fat white woman with 3 chins and fucking got goddamn snacks between the rolls on her side, on her stomach. You know, you don't have to do that. You can just fucking hit the CB1 app and then you're a citizen. So Chinese immigrants are going to Mexico and then walking across with everybody else. They're not flying in, you fucking idiot.
From Mexico or Mexican born are the largest. But the next largest are Asians. 28% of them come. I don't think they walk across the southern border. I think they come by plane. The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they walk either. I'm just saying immigrants, right?
Oh, not undocumented though.
A lot of them are undocumented.
But
actually.
Look at what she said. She's saying she thinks. She has no idea what she's talking about. This woman has no fucking clue what she's talking about.
The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they walk either. I'm just saying immigrants, right?
Oh, not undocumented though.
A lot of them are undocumented,
But that's not the stat for being.
But a lot
Asians
of them
are
come by
second
plane
most.
and then overstay their visas. They overstay their visas. They overstay their visas, so they're undocumented. The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like. What undocumented.
So Donald Trump wants a criminal migrant to look like. He wants criminal migrants to look a certain way.
Migrant, and I think that's racist. Let me also say that, in my view, he has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Generally, before being deported, you have an asylum case pending in front of a court, and you must appear in front of that judge. Right now, there are 3 million asylum cases and 900 judges. That is why the bipartisan bill that was going to be passed addressed that particular issue. Instead of dealing with it legally in that way, and I'm not saying he's doing it illegally, what he did was declared a national emergency that qualifies as a foreign invasion. And on the U.S.-Mexico border, not any other border. And that cleared.
Man, there's only one other border. There's only one other border, man.
The way for the Department of Defense to deploy the military at a 60% increase. I just think that our military members, many of them did not join the military to do that job.
Yeah, do you know that they build bridges and dams? Do you know that they dig trenches? She doesn't know that a lot of military people are doing things other than fighting. You know, they're fucking goddamn occupying fucking villages and shit. Like, what does she think? This woman is retarded, man.
And that cleared the way for the Department of Defense to deploy the military at a 60% increase. I just think that our military members, many of them did not join the military to do that job. And let me say just finally that they are also racially profiling in doing this. In Newark, New Jersey, a business venue on Thursday was raided, and among the citizens that they detained and questioned was a.
So what? Well, I don't care. People are gonna be asked for their ID that aren't migrants. Oh well. Fucking moron. That woman is a moron, man. She can we deport her? Can we deport Sonny Hostin?
Is it anything you've been seeing, or do you anticipate that there's going to be changes that we should be prepped for that we're not thinking about?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been surprised by anything now. I mean, he's been doing essentially what he actually campaigned on that. He announced he is going to pardon the J6 individuals. He is going to absolutely go after the border. So there's a lot of things that he's already ran on. I mean, criticize a lot of it, and I don't agree with everything either. But it's undeniable. He actually ran on that and been really upfront. He's like, I am your reputation, and he's kind of making those moves. So that's kind of where we're at early on.
This is crazy. This is the only place in the world where John Fetterman has the most neurons firing, more neurons firing than anyone else on the fucking panel. That's crazy. John Fetterman is by far the smartest person on this fucking panel. That is crazy. Enjoy this, John. Enjoy this moment, John. You'll never experience this again as long as you live.
That's agree with everything either, but it's undeniable. He actually ran on that and been really upfront. He's like, I am your reputation, and he's kind of making those moves. So that's kind of where we're at early on. Immediately after the election, I was like, hey, we have a choice. We can freak out and follow every other thing around, like a cat, with a laser, after he won. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that Democrat. For me, there's things I'm going to agree with, I'm going to disagree with, but I'm in the business of finding wins for Pennsylvania and for the nation, and engaging the president. I think I see that as doing my job.
And well said. And I want to.
Damn, they not having him on anymore. John Fetterman is not coming on The View anymore anytime soon, man. God damn.
When you look at these flights where they are deporting people back to their origin nation, we don't know who they are. And that's where I'd like to see more transparency. If indeed, right now, everyone on these flights is a violent criminal, I think we can all agree everyone thinks they should leave the country. We were saying that this morning. It's common sense.
Yeah, but they're all criminals. They all broke into the country. They all broke into the fucking country. You whore, you idiot. They're all criminals. I don't give a fuck if they were shoplifting. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. How dare you come to our country and steal a pack of fucking noodles out of CVS, man. You've just basically punched your ticket back home, man. Get out of here. Get them all out of here. This is why women should just shut up. Women, let men handle this. Men will handle this. Women are not built for this. This is listen, right now, while the men are handling the immigrant crisis, man, women, man, meals should be it should be like literally like every woman needs to be in the kitchen right now, fine-tuning their cooking skills, broadening their horizons with recipes. If you had 2 or 3 go-to recipes, beef stroganoff, tuna casserole. While we're doing this, you guys need to start working on different dishes, man. Each woman should have at least 10 go-to dishes by the time we get this immigration thing under control, man. More meals, man. More meals for the men who are doing this, man. You need to be taking brownies down to these ICE agents. Every ICE station should have fucking a goddamn fucking pile of fucking of brownies in the fucking foyer and shit from all the women from the community. It should look like potluck every day at the ICE headquarters in your community, at the police station in your community. Women should be bringing down hot meals and cookies and pies to support the men who are doing these jobs, man. Instead of running their mouths about shit that they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Press 1.
when you look at these flights where they are deporting people back to their origin nation, we don't know who they are. And that's where I'd like to see more transparency. If indeed, right now, everyone on these flights is a violent criminal, I think we can all agree everyone thinks they should leave the country. We were saying that this morning. It's common sense. But what we're not getting is a breakdown of who these people are. On the first day of Trump's presidency, DHS, there was a press release, and they said that they had nabbed more than 300 illegal migrant criminals, including one attempted murder and one child molester. But what about the other 298? What was their crime? Because I think either you own the fact that these are all violent criminals and break down who these people are, what their crime was, and tell the American people.
We don't care. See, this thing you don't understand, whore. We don't care what their crime was. If they're here illegally, get them out of here. That's their crime. We're not breaking this shit down and every little fucking thing. No, that's what you want to do, to bog this down in bureaucratic red tape. Hey, you, get over here. Let me see your ID. Okay, you're here illegal. Bye. Next. Like all this goddamn bullshit that this woman is talking about, all these caveats and goddamn loopholes and shit. No. Get out of here. Beat it. I wish we could deport this broad too, man. Send her to the third world.
Criminals and break down who these people are, what their crime was, and tell the American people, or tell us what they really are and let us have a healthy debate over the disagreement of how.
A healthy debate. This is why you can't have women in times like this, man. Women just need to go back to the kitchen, man. Get in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen. Bake some brownies. Take them down to your local ICE headquarters, and hand them over to the ICE agents with a smile on your face. Make some fresh lemonade. Hand squeezed lemonade. Take it down there with some brownies. Or maybe make some breakfast sandwiches, some sausage and egg sandwiches, and take them down there in the morning, so that the guys can get a nice hearty breakfast before they go out into the field and arrest these fucking leeches, these goddamn these fucking parasites, and send them back to where they came from.
Well, Senator, Trump's pardoning of roughly 1,500 January 6th rioters on his first day back in office is still reverberating. And when we last spoke with you in December, you were critical of Joe Biden having just pardoned his son, Hunter. So although President Trump ran on doing this, there was a discrepancy, and a lot of people in his inner circle said he wouldn't do it for violent offenders. So there was some surprise in what he ended up doing.
Of course not. I'm on record criticizing going after Hunter Biden. And I also agreed that the trial in this city, in New York, was politically motivated, that wouldn't otherwise have been prosecuted if it was someone else. And I've been very front and center in pardons. You know, I chaired that process in Pennsylvania. You know, I was all about delivering second chances, and I was very proud of that. And I think that's really the cornerstone of criminal justice reform is if you are following the rules and you've paid your debt. I do believe you do. I do believe there needs to be a path for redemption. And this process, you know, whether Joe Biden or whether President Trump, you know, I don't agree with many of those pardons, especially on the J6 ones. And I've called that out. I've been on record saying that that's just not true. If you're going to abuse the process, you know, somebody that's been very committed as part of that has made that part of my career. I think it's sad because it's been politicized. And I think, if anything, that might have set some things back because people assume now, you know, depending on what team's in office, you know, those are the people that get some redemption.
I just for clarification, did you mean that the 34 count case in which Donald Trump was found guilty of various financial crimes was politically motivated here in New York?
I found that when the judicial system gets weaponized and targeted political enemies for political gain, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that degrades our collective trust in this a very important institution, whether that's on a Democratic going after a Republican or a Republican going after a Democratic one. And I like to think I call it strikes and balls, because the judicial system has to remain impartial. I mean, that's really the cornerstone of our society.
Would that be the way the things work?
Look at her face. Is he Sonny? Where's she Sonny at? Sonny was. Oh shit. Salute to Michael. Michael says, I agree 100%. I expected 20K the first day. 300 to 1,000 nationwide is ridiculous. Homer says they'll open the aperture soon. We'll see. Yeah, man. I'm not thrilled with Holman right now. I mean, I like his tone and all that, but the numbers not reflecting it. I'm not thrilled with these numbers. It's not enough. Get these people out of here, all of them. Salute to my man, Baby King, man. He says YouTube sucks. Damn. Yeah, I could, you might have a point there. Sonny is, look at Sonny. Sonny funny as hell, man. Sonny is an evil demon. God, I wish we could deport her, man.
I just for clarification, did you mean that the 34 count case in which Donald Trump was found guilty of various financial crimes was politically motivated here in New York?
I found that when the judicial system gets weaponized and targeted political enemies for political gain, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that degrades our collective trust in this a very important institution, whether that's on a Democratic going after a Republican or a Republican going after a Democratic one. And I like to think I call it strikes and balls, because the judicial system has to remain impartial. I mean, that's really the cornerstone of our society.
Would that be the way the things worked? Wouldn't that be great?
Jesus. Jeez.
I to answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted?
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain
Pain and destruction. No, man. The pain and destruction was them, what they caused coming over here. Get them out of here. Every last one of them. Talking about? What you talking about, Sonny? Get those people out of here. Um, um, hmm.
And new tonight, people living in the Bronx voicing their concerns about a migrant shelter being proposed in their community.
All right, it would house more than 2,000 men on Bruckner Boulevard. Fox 5's Kendall Green's live in the Mont Haven section of the Bronx, where the shelter was the subject of tonight's community board meeting. Kendall.
Hi, good evening, Natasha and Steve. The hard questions came early in this meeting where residents were under the impression that they had some sort of say-so in the matter, but they quickly learned that wasn't the case.
Is this a done deal? When is this proposed to open? And yeah, you can start with that.
Sure, the answer is yes, and at the end of February.
Damn, they getting a 2,200 bed migrant shelter. Wow. You talk about going backwards, man. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, New York is a sanctuary city. That's right. It's a sanctuary city. So, yeah.
Well, emotions were high and South Bronx residents were firm, opposing the 2,200 bed shelter that the city plans to move forward with.
That's 2,200 men. Goddamn rascals and vagabonds and transients and losers. Like a lot of those guys, those migrants, at the end of the day, they may be able to work with their hands a bit. They may have some skills, may know how to do a little carpentry, drywall, other, cement, or, work with plaster and stuff like that. Maybe even more. Maybe some of them may be able to do HVAC. But at the end of the fucking day, they're fucking, a lot of them are drunks and losers. A lot of them. And you're putting 2,200 of them in this community? Oh, my God.
With no vote, no opinions from residents, the mayor's Office of Asylum Seekers Operations plans to open the shelter as soon as late February. Now, Camille Joseph Varlick, the city's deputy mayor of administration, had to take some tough questions from residents, admitting communication could have been better throughout the process. And this meeting comes as the city plans to shut down 13 emergency migrant shelters, removing 10,000 beds by summer. Yet, they're opening this new facility in the Bronx on Bruckner Boulevard for single men, as questions come quickly regarding who will be housed at the shelter. Safe to say residents are frustrated by the move.
We have women and children, and even men that's been in that daggone shelters for years and years and years. And you give them hotels, and you give them somewhere to live, but yet there's still people still in the street.
That's
so
right.
Please, I'm trying to be good. Don't tell me how to say it. I'm living this. I'm seeing this. I'm praying with them. I'm trying with them.
That's right, sister.
People need a place to be, and it's getting cold and everything in the future, but we feel like it's a dumping ground. We're getting the jail right across the street, and now we're going to get a 2,200 bed for homeless men. No, think about women and families first.
Clearly, communication could have been better before this shelter was opened, and we want to make sure.
They tried to they tried to just sneak it in on them, man. Clearly, communication could have been better.
That we work in partnership with you as we move forward.
Now, a little about this shelter. Officials said the 7th floor facility will have 24/7 on-site security, as well as an 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. And in addition to that, community-based organizations on site to help those asylum seekers. And again, it's set to open as soon as next month. But that's the latest here in the.
Jeez. Jesus. That sucks, man. Looks like we got a mass shooting, guys. Looks like we have a mass shooting in America, man. We're gonna get to this mass shooting. It looks like it's in New Orleans, man. Wow. Everybody hit the like button for me, man. Hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button for me, man. Let's go.
News from 16 News Now.
George Mallet here with Lauren Moss. We're coming on the air with breaking news. There has been a shooting incident at Martin's Supermarket right in the heart of Elkhart.
This happened at the location of Jackson.
Elkhart. Where's Elkhart? NDU, WNDU. Is that where is this? Well, they're not telling us there. Hopefully they tell us.
News from 16 News Now.
George Mallet here with Lauren Moss. We're coming on the air with breaking news. There has been a shooting incident at Martin's Supermarket right in the heart of Elkhart.
This happened at the location of Jackson Boulevard. We are learning several people have been killed. So let's get right to it and go out to our Natasha Cassell, who's live at the Martin Supermarket. Now, Natasha, you've been out there all night. You've learned new details. What can you tell us?
Lauren, it's a sad day here in the Elkhart community. As I can confirm, 3 people are dead and 2 officers were hurt in a shooting inside the Martin Supermarket here on East Jackson Boulevard. We're going to take you to some live video here. As you can see, is completely blocked off all the way from Jackson Boulevard here to the Fiesta Mexicana Supermarket, along with the River Point West apartment complex. As you can see, it's still a very busy and active police presence, but there's still very little information we can confirm at this time. Right now, we don't know what part of the supermarket this occurred, and we do not know what led to the shooting exactly. But we can confirm that 2 officers are in stable condition after engaging with said suspect, and the suspect is one of the people who are confirmed to be dead. That is all we can confirm at this time, but as you can see, it's clearly still a very busy, active scene and active investigation, but it has now been turned over to the Elkhart Homicide Unit. As you can see, some officers are still going back and forth in between the Martins. But yes, sir, guys, it's a very...
She needs some cardio, man. We gotta get her in shape, man. At least she ain't disrespectful, but she need to get in shape, man. She might have stopped at that Mexican restaurant before she went on the air, man.
Very sad day out here in Elkhart. That's all we can share for you right now at this time. For now in Elkhart, Natasha Cassell, 16 News Now.
All right, Natasha, stay put. We're going to be checking back with you, Natasha Cassell, tonight.
And our Joshua Shore is live in the newsroom, standing by with the latest. Josh, we know you've been making calls all night to your sources. What can you tell us?
You know what? Let's take a step back here because we were all caught off guard when this news came in just before 5:30 this evening. We were literally in the newsroom when we heard.
I hate that fucking collar, man. The new style of collar, I just hate it, man. What was wrong with the old collar, man? Why they had to change everything?
The same scanner audio, that harrowing audio that you hate to hear about there being a shooting inside of the supermarket. This one being at Martin's, which is a sickening, eerie sense of deja vu for folks in Elkhart because there was another shooting at another market years ago forgive me, I'm getting a call from sources, as you can imagine. This was on the Bristol Street supermarket. So if you guys are familiar with that area in Elkhart specifically, in 2014, there was a shooting that was eerily similar to this. There were 3 victims as well in that shooting. I have spoken with several sources in the last hour trying to get a grasp on what may have happened. We've gotten our Natasha Cassell out there with that brand new reporting as well. I'm just going to try my best to supplement what we know here. I can tell you that according to a couple of sources that I've talked to, there was some sort of an ISP related, they led officers. I'm going to put it the way that I was told. They led officers to the hospital down the street from where we are at Memorial and South Bend. So based on what we know, there are 2 officers who are in Memorial Hospital in stable condition. We have that live image, in fact, and we're seeing right outside of the hospital. This is right near the emergency entrance of the hospital. You see the fire truck there, and you see the patrol cars there. When our photographer first got there, you can still see it's busy right now. He said that he saw about 12 cruisers outside, police cruisers, South Bend mostly. But obviously, we're thinking about those officers, right? All we know is that their conditions are, quote, listed as stable. That is what we know right now. The emergency entrance is cordoned off by hospital security. We're obviously waiting to get word on any update on those 2 police officers who were shot after engaging with that suspect. A lot of people on Facebook saying that they've seen on the toll road, they were pulled over because there was that police escort of these 2 officers from Elkhart into South Bend at Memorial, where we're seeing this presence right now. Again, what we know, 3 people killed, one of them being the shooter, 2 other officers in that hospital you just saw. Guys, this is, it's really heavy on a lot of folks. Lauren and George, as I bring you back into the conversation, you guys talked about it. People are shopping Monday night, right? And you see this, you hear this. I'm hearing from folks who are inside. It is just harrowing, to say the least. And we're still trying to get that on the record as well.
And Josh, I think standing there as well, when we saw Jessica McBriar talking to reporters, and she was clearly emotionally shaken by what has happened.
Look, she is the spokesperson for the Elkhart Police Department, but she's human too, right? And also, before she was there, she was in law enforcement here in St. Joe County. And so she's been around a lot. She's seen a lot. So to hear her choked up in that moment, it says a lot about the veracity of the situation, right? And it really tugs at your heartstrings because you're thinking about everyone involved. Lauren Moss, I know you heard from folks as well who live and work right near that scene.
Salute to my man Leroy, man. Leroy says, I hope a son gets Wicked's ass deported. Damn.
Well, Wicked be catching it, man.
This is a sanctuary channel. As long as he's up here, man, we not going to let ICE fuck with him as long as he's on the panel, man. But I can't do nothing with him once he's off the panel, man. Yeah, Wicked, goddamn. Well, we got to make sure he's all right, man. If you out there, Wicked, man, we want to make sure you you haven't been rounded up with the rest of your people. You got like sounds coming out of your phone. You gotta mute the stream or something.
And what they saw moments after that shooting.
That's right. I mean, I know people who work right across the street, and they said the amount of officers did not stop. They were pouring in as we were on the air at 6 o'clock tonight. Really just a devastating story in our.
Aaron Swari joins me now. Aaron, I am looking at you. I see you. We see you as well. Thank you for doing this. I am so sorry you have to do this under these conditions. Can you just give us a little bit of what you heard? And I'm going to try my best to make sure that I can hear you okay. So forgive me. Can you say something really quickly?
Hello, Josh.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you give me a little bit of just what you saw and what happened just before 5:30 tonight?
I did my grocery shopping and was checking out, and I was the only one at the particular checkout. There were people over at self-checkout. I didn't really pay much attention to them. I was just watching my bill go up, and just making small talk with the bagger. And then we heard a pop. And honestly, I thought it was a balloon that popped. Call me crazy, but I just thought it was a balloon. We all looked around. And then I saw everybody starting to duck. So of course, like I said, I'm pregnant and very, I noticed my surroundings a lot more, I guess. And anyway, so everyone ducked, so I ducked. And then after that, I would say there was 6 to 8 more shots, just one right after another. So I was just down on the ground, just frozen. Obviously, I didn't want to run while there were still gunshots going, but all I could think while I was down there was of my kids. And if he came around that corner, that I thought I would probably be gone or shot as well. So I just stayed there and tried to stay calm. I saw people running down the frozen aisle toward the back. I waited just a minute so that, you know, I didn't hear anything. There was no arguing. There was no nothing beforehand. There was no sounds other than that first pop. So after just a moment, I grabbed my purse and I ran down the same aisle. I went to the back and into the stock room, and I just hid back there. I couldn't see anybody else.
I'm gonna, Aaron,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you because I have to ask you this question, and I'm gonna show the scene as well as I ask this question. When you went to that stock room, what went through your mind? I can only imagine what went through your mind.
Really, at that point, there wasn't a lot going through my mind. It was mostly when I was bent down at the checkout that I was scared for my life. And I'm not being dramatic, but when you hear something like that, I mean, you assume that whoever is doing it is just going around randomly to whoever. So I thought, if they come around that corner, then I'm going to be shot as well. And I have 2 small kids and a husband now, and I'm pregnant. And so anyone would be scared regardless. But when I got back in the stock room, then that's when it was really all hitting. I used to do a merchandising job, and I always imagined, what would I do if something like this happened? And you really can't know what to do other than.
Okay, so who's the suspect? Who did this? Who did this?
That's what I
Who
want
do
to
you
know.
think?
Hey,
Who do you think did
how's
it?
my mic? My mic better or still tripping?
Yeah, it's all right. Just mute yourself when you're not talking. Who do you think did this?
Sunman, first guess. Second
In
guess,
Indiana?
illegal.
In Indiana?
Yes, I would say Sun. Suns are everywhere.
Good evening and thanks for joining us at 11. We begin tonight with breaking news. 3 people are dead following a hail of gunfire inside the Martin's grocery store in the heart of Elkhart. The dead include the suspected gunman and 2 victims who were in the store. 2 Elkhart police officers were also shot and were transported to Memorial Hospital in South Bend. Natasha Casal has been in Elkhart since shortly after the incident and joins us live after speaking with police. Natasha.
Okay, we
George,
already got
it's
her.
a sad day here in Elkhart as the city is learning.
We got her. We want to know who did this shit. Let me go to
I mean, there's already no information out. I mean, that's kind of a giveaway, but you know.
You think so?
Hey, I'm just saying, man, we know the game. I mean, Trump ain't in office long enough, you know, and not until King Trump comes, brings his ass in there and goes full heel on him. That's whenever we're gonna get some transparency.
Please support the channel. Take the $5 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Earpiece fill up. Let's see. This is the shooting at the grocery store I was supposed to be at in Elkhart, Indiana, at 3:50.
Oh, damn.
Of this, when you see 2 officers running out, that's technically the beginning of the actual video. This is a screen grab took of someone who actually took it before they removed it. Um, 3 people killed. The suspect is amongst the deceased. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a white guy. Suspect's dead.
Behind us.
Oh, okay.
As you can see behind us, it's a sad day in Elkhart. We have a situation that occurred at the Martins on, excuse me, on Junior Achievement Drive. There was a shooting situation inside the Martins. 2 individuals were pronounced deceased inside. We have a suspect that was believed to be the suspect in this incident. He is also deceased. We had a couple officers that were involved and engaged the suspect. They sustained gunfire. At last information, they were in stable condition. At this point, as you can see, we are still working on interviewing witnesses. Anyone with information can call the Elkhart Police Department or the Elkhart County Homicide Unit. The Homicide Unit has been activated and is here. They will be taking over the investigation. As I mentioned, we still are investigating here, but it is no longer an active scene. There's not believed to be any further danger to the public at this time. I will be giving update in a couple minutes when I have a little bit more information, but I just wanted to say our thoughts and prayers are with the people affected. It's a sad day in Elkhart, and we appreciate everyone's
What happened, bitch?
to assist with this matter, and we will release more information. Believed to be the suspect, and he is deceased. We had 2 officers that unfortunately.
I don't know, being that vague, man. They acting like it's some kind of LGBT member.
A trans shooter, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. Give us something.
Yeah, this is absolutely nothing. This one says, "Oh my God, regard the Martins grocery store shooting tonight in Elkhart." So it says, a friend of mine from church asked a man to stop hurting the man's wife. The man pulled a gun and shot his wife in the head and then shot my friend in the chest. He is fighting for his life. Please pray for him. You're saying this was a DV situation with a bystander who was injured? And the person said yes. So this is what apparently happened. This swirling glider, man. He says, a friend of mine from church asked the man to stop hurting the man's wife. So I guess there was a fight in the supermarket. And the man pulled out a gun and shot his wife in the head and then shot the man who was trying to interfere with him disciplining his wife.
Wow, that is that I don't even know, man. That could be Sunman or Glider.
That's a glider, man.
Yeah,
That's a glider.
I think it is a glider. I think it is a glider, you know. Sunman would have gotten, there would have been some kind of loud altercation.
Yeah, it was
I don't know, some kind of
crazy.
something.
It would have been way more crazy.
Yeah, I know. The whole damn place would have been torn up with shit ripped off the wall.
Right. Facts. So that's what allegedly happened. Domestic violence, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
I think that's a glider, though. I really do. What do you guys think, chat? You think it's a glider that did this? Or a son? Or Ombrito? Could have been an Ombrito. Don't forget Ombritos. They don't play when it comes to their women, man. You don't tell me how to talk to my woman.
They don't. But do burritos pull out guns though and just end it? I mean, burritos like to get out there and box and throw head movement and shit.
Yeah, man. I know that. The Ombritos, man. I don't know, man. A lot of times, man. you just feeling local, man. You just do things, man. You just fly off the deep end, man.
Hey, you had me cracking up. That's whatever they were talking about the names of some. They had some weird names or whatever. I forget what I forget. It was like one word answers. Then you talk about hoes. They called me Stinky.
Yeah, man.
Every road.
Oh, the homie Puzzle. My homie Puzzle. He's local, man. He's liable to shoot himself and shoot his old lady anytime, man. R.I.P. to the homies Puzzle, man. He was local.
Oh shit,
Man.
Wow.
This. So this was Gladys. This was Gladys, man. I'm gonna go off on the limb and say Gladys on burritos at least. This wasn't us, man. This wasn't us, man.
Well, that's
Okay, this
good. We need a
is
break. We need a break. We need a clean sheet.
yeah. This is under this. Okay, is this it? Oh, this was 11 years ago. This was the same grocery store had a shooting 11 years ago. Okay, so that was 11 years ago, and that was a glider that did that one. The victim. Oh no, that's another shooting. Oh, the Elkhart. Hey, Elkhart getting cracking tonight, man. Yeah, we don't have any. Is this it? It says authorities are conducting an investigation into the. Wow. Salute to Osa the Healer, man. Osa the Healer says, I just got here, but I bet 5 on burritos. We'll have to come back to that, man. And see,
Burritos in Indiana.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere, man. Yeah, they just come across the border and populate your area, man. These motherfuckers are everywhere. Gotta get rid of them, man.
That's true. That's true, man. That's true.
The
Hey,
fucking
so what? Hey, what would you give Trump's letter grade right now? If you just
I'm giving Trump an A
7
so far, but I want to see
Yeah.
more. I want to see more. More deportations, man. I want to see a lot of empty, sad looking taco trucks on the street, man.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I want to see it. I want to see. But I also want to see some like documented. I want to see some like ESPN 30 for 30 type documentary type shit going on. Involving when it comes to these illegals. I want to see the
Yeah.
families crying and how they're adjusting, and I want to see all that shit.
Yeah, man, get them out of here.
Yeah. Yeah,
And now
but I'm
for
just
some breaking
afraid that
news out
they
of
might
Philadelphia
try
to
and
get you up to
use
speed
this
on one man.
show, this track or whatever. I don't know, man, because trying to get rid of 1.5 million, that just seems like a tough task. I don't know. I don't know if they'll even get to crack 1.5. Maybe a million, but no more than 1.5.
Salute to Andy Armour, man. Yeah, shout out to you, Andy Armour. And we got a lot of work to do, man. It's a good start, but I mean they need to be having 1,000 on a bad day, man. 1,000 is, I mean, you gotta round these people up. Use a net if you have to, man. Just gotta get a helicopter, drop a big old net over some goddamn go to one of those soccer fields where they play soccer and shit, and like put an ice agent as the goalie and shit, right? And then when they kick the ball to the goal, man, he take the ball, man, and then walk off, and then they gonna be, hey homie, hey on there, you come, who you think you are taking our ball, man? Get back here, man. You taking our ball. And then they're gonna follow him and shit and try to, get the ball back. And he gonna walk right into a fucking a battalion of ICE agents. And then you get all those motherfuckers down there playing soccer and shit, man.
Right.
Go to the school, man, and have an ICE agent dressed up as a teacher, man. And tell the kids we going on a field trip, man. You on a field trip, yo.
Oh man, I like that. Hey, tell her to bring their parents too.
yeah. We need some chaperones, man. And then to bring your parents, and we go on a field trip, and you get them in the bus, man. And once they put on the seatbelt, make it so the seatbelt just locks. Like once you snap it, you can't unsnap.
Hey, in case anybody wants to yell, in case anybody wants to do all that yelling and shit and scream, go ahead and spray some gas from the top of the school bus. Go ahead and make them sleep for a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You gotta get creative, man. If you want to get these numbers up, man.
I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, man, we can't let up. So yeah, they got that tracker. They got a tracker on, just like they did for COVID. When they kept on showing all the COVID deaths, no matter what, car accident, heart attack, old age, man, shoot, you on that COVID tracker, So I want to see that with
put some NyQuil in there. Put some NyQuil in their fucking taco sauce and shit. So when they go to the food truck and they eat their taco, they go back to their car and they fall asleep, man, and you just come grab them up, man.
Yeah, I know. And if it's their car, maybe we can just tow their car straight to Mexico.
Yeah, man. This is we gotta.
Should we lock them inside? That way they can't leave. That way they can't get out. We can even put some food in the car.
Yeah, go to the international market, man. Yeah, the international market, lock the doors and shit, man.
I know.
Real
humane shit. They'll never eat that good on their way home.
Go to the church, man. Go to the church, man. Had an ICE agent dressed up as a preacher, man.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? ICE
midnight mass.
As a preacher,
midnight mass.
Man.
Your midnight mass. A lot of them are Catholic.
Yeah, man.
That's from midnight mass.
Yep, and then they're gonna be like, and then when they're ready to leave the church, they're gonna pull the door. The door gonna be locked.
Yep.
And then all the ICE agents just come out the back, man, and grab them up, man.
All the trucks ready. Maybe let's go ahead and shackle their feet. Shackle their feet and arms. Give them some buckets where they can use the bathroom for the drive. Dude, they go.
Yeah, man, we gotta get these numbers up, man. I'm not happy, man.
And now to some breaking news out of Philadelphia to get you up to speed on. One man is dead and two others are in critical condition after an apparent shootout in Frankfurt. This happening around 10 o'clock tonight at a venue on Frankfurt Avenue at Orthodox Street. A 29-year-old man was found shot multiple times inside a first-floor ballroom. He died at the scene. Investigators say at least 40 rounds were fired inside that venue. Police were able to find one of the weapons they believe was used in that shooting. Police still working to learn the identities of any of the suspects. Of course, NBC 10 will continue to follow this breaking news and bring you the latest on air and online as we learn more. We'll be right back.
Tonight, Governor Greg Abbott is deploying more Texas National Guard troops to the border. They will help federal authorities in a crackdown on illegal immigration.
This comes just a day after hundreds of people across Texas were arrested in ICE raids. Orko Manna is live in Southwest Houston this evening with what he's learning about immigration enforcement here in the Houston area. Orko.
Hey, I wouldn't even be, I wouldn't have a problem if he was illegal, man, if they arrested him on the air, man. If some agents just came up live on the air, man, it was like, yo, hey, man, we're gonna cut the commercial, man. And then they cut the commercial, and they come back from commercial, and it's a different guy as a brother doing the goddamn story and shit, man.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that just based on suspicion, honestly.
Yeah, but
just like how they did 9/11.
yeah, man. We gotta get these numbers up, man. Shout out to Glizzy Hendricks, man. He says we're going to need some documentation for Wiki. He's been suspiciously absent the past few days, ever since the illegal immigrant roundup started. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. He been going after white people too. He been that shit. He's like Selena Gomez and shit.
Yeah, I'm worried about Wiki, man. I am. I truly am, man.
Well, Mia, the ICE office here in Houston would not provide me with any specifics, but across the country, ICE says they've made nearly 2,000 arrests over the last 3 days. Civil rights advocates say with ICE agents now able to go inside places such as schools, hospitals, and churches such as this one to make arrests, immigrants must be prepared.
Hasta el 1 de marzo.
The phone lines are busy at Fiel in Houston, the immigrant-led civil rights organization.
I would even ban Spanish because we don't know what the fuck y'all saying, man. We don't know if y'all being sneaky or hiding stuff or helping people. I would ban Spanish. If you speak Spanish and shit, yo, you getting detained, man. Speak English. Say that shit in English if you're not trying to be sneaky. Press 1. If you're not trying to be sneaky, if you're not trying to be sneaky, say that shit in English so everybody can know what the fuck you talking about. Press 1.
Fielding calls from concerned citizens saying they've seen ICE agents in their neighborhoods.
Definitely a palpable sense of paranoia.
Executive Director Cesar Espinoza says that fear is a result of President Trump's new immigration policies. But as of right now, he doesn't believe much has happened.
No, that fear is a result of your ass sneaking in the country, motherfucker.
Locally.
Out of, I don't know, 150 reports that we got over the weekend, only like 2 or 3 were actual ICE showing up, but they weren't showing up in like massive raids or something like that.
An official with ICE's Houston field office tells me they're doing, quote, routine targeted immigration enforcement, but would not provide more details. The DEA's Houston division posting pictures saying they're assisting DHS with enforcement efforts. Meanwhile, ICE officials in North Texas say 84 arrests were made Sunday in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And it's worrisome of where things could go. With basically no holds bar for ICE or ICE agents.
In preparation for what could come, Fiel is putting together a toolkit to help immigrants navigate this moment, and it's not just for those without documents.
So for the first time ever in our history, we're recommending that U.S. citizens, get their paperwork in order.
Trump and his supporters say the immigration policy.
You heard that? For the first time in their history, they're recommending that you get your paperwork in order. So they didn't. So they basically didn't care about these people having all their documents until now. Shout out to Trump. So even for the people who are legal, you got to get your shit together. You got to have your identification. You got to have all your ducks in a row instead of just being over here willy nilly and shit, man.
No one said. Hey, which you hear about how Trump said that well, they said that he jokingly said about deporting those who constantly commit crimes. He's like, I don't want them in my country.
Yeah.
Oh my man, let's go. Let's revoke. Yeah, let's revoke citizenships.
Yeah, man. Like this guy, they snitching on themselves, man. I'm glad he's speaking English, man. I can trust. I trust them when they speak English. When they don't speak English, I think they up to something. They trying to hide something, man.
We're recommending that U.S. citizens, get their paperwork in order.
Trump and his supporters say the immigration policies, including securing the U.S.-Mexico border, are meant to protect the public.
President Trump, in less than a few days, has immediately made an impact.
Today, Governor Greg Abbott directing over 400 Texas Tactical Border Force soldiers to go to the border to help federal agents.
But there's bipartisan support.
While former Houston mayor and Democratic Congressman Sylvester Turner tells me illegal
he aged like milk. Well, he must be sick because
he is sick. Yeah, he's the president. Yeah, he's our shit of a mayor in Houston. But he had a couple of cancer things going on.
Okay. Because he looked, I mean, just like 2 years ago, he looked like completely different.
But there's bipartisan support.
While former Houston mayor and Democratic Congressman Sylvester Turner tells me illegal immigration is a problem, he says mass deportations, potentially targeting law-abiding citizens, are not the solution.
They are rightfully concerned about their parents, their grandparents, their relatives who have been in this country for 20, 30 years. There's a right way to do things, and there's a wrong way to do things.
No one likes you, bro. No one likes
Today, I
you.
reached out to local law enforcement agencies to see if they're assisting ICE with immigration enforcement. Both the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the Houston Police Department tell me they are not involved in such operations. We're live in Houston tonight. Orca Manna, KHOU 11 News.
The first of
let's see, man. What's that? That's Houston. Okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Houston local news. All they do is sit here and run on a loop talking about, oh, Trump ended this affirmative action thing or whatever the hell they're talking about. But if you look at that side of town, that southeast town, dude, it's a wasteland. So it's like they acting like they're gonna make some developments there. That shit has been stagnant for like 10 years. That shit has been stagnant since Obama was there. Maybe now something will get done about it.
Wow.
And in the last hour, News 5 has confirmed that ICE agents took 6 employees of a Cleveland Heights restaurant into custody. That's according to the owner of Cilantro Taqueria, whose Coventry location was closed today.
Scripps News is reporting that President Donald Trump gave Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers quotas to arrest at least 75 individuals per day. News 5 reporter Nadia Masada has the latest on the impact.
That's what I'm talking about. So Cleveland, the Northeast Ohio has a quota of 75 per day. So each little area, if you give them 75 per day, that can get the numbers up. I like that. Quotas. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't come back to this office without when I used to do canvassing, outdoor sales, they would give us quotas sometimes. And we as a group. So the group, they would be like, don't come back without 20 leads as a group. We'd be out there all night, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes trying to get them leads. So yeah, I like this. Yeah, don't come back to the hold on. Don't come back to the office without your 75 bodies, man. If you come back with 74, you're getting reprimanded the first day, written up. The second time you come back with less than 75, you all are being demoted, and third time you're fired. You gotta put the pressure on them so that they go out and beat the streets. I'm talking about lifting up manhole covers, man. You know the little news stand thing with the paper in it. You pull it out, you put a quarter in there, pull it out, make sure one of them ain't hiding in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, check behind curtains and shit. I'm talking about serious, real shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta get these motherfuckers up out of here, man. All of them.
Gotta go.
Since President Trump signed his executive orders, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office has posted daily arrest numbers. Sunday alone, ICE posted 956 arrests and 554 detainers lodged. Meanwhile, in Northeast Ohio, social media has been exploding with rumors about ICE activity.
What I heard, I saw on social media this morning that there had been a raid with ICE officers.
Yeah, he definitely voted for Kamala. He hates Trump with a passion.
Man, look at this guy. God.
Yeah, he's the type of guy. He's the type of guy that like literally like he probably like cried on election night, man. This guy right here, yo.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Kamala Harris's stepdaughter.
Yeah.
with rumors about ICE activity.
What I heard, I saw on social media this morning that there had been a raid with ICE officers.
I actually saw it on TikTok.
The latest talk is about the Cilantro Taqueria on Coventry in Cleveland Heights. We contacted the owner, who late this afternoon confirmed an incident happened on Sunday where 6 people were taken into ICE's custody.
I don't really care about legal status or anything, these people were part of the community.
The business was closed today in Coventry with flowers and signs posted reading, "No one is illegal on stolen land." The owner says they will be closed for 3 days as they work with their attorneys to get their employees
Okay,
released.
so this is stolen land. Hey, fucktard. Where do you live? Do you have an apartment? Give up your fucking apartment. Give up your house. Give up your timeshare. Since it's on stolen land, you first. Since you lead the way, man. With giving back the stolen land. Show us how it's done, you piece of shit. Huh?
Yeah, I really can't stand all these damn self-hating white liberals. It's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
Stolen land. Fuck you mean stolen land? Give up your land then.
I don't really care about legal status or anything, these people were part of the community.
The business was closed today in Coventry with flowers and signs posted reading, "No one is illegal on stolen land." The owner says they will be closed for 3 days as they work with their attorneys to get their employees released. That's as Cleveland Heights says they weren't given a heads up about the raid and they're working to get more information.
We have reached out to the federal government, Homeland Security, and we have been told that we are not going to receive information about this incident from them.
Geauga County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that on Sunday, 20 individuals were brought into their facility by ICE. It's unclear where they were arrested, but the chief deputy says it's not out of the ordinary to see that many arrested by ICE.
Everything has changed like in a blink of an eye.
While it's unclear where the raids are happening in Lorain, Victor Landry with El Centro, one of the largest nonprofits providing social services to the Hispanic community in the state, says the community is on edge, anticipating when ICE will come.
I don't want to increase fear in our community. I don't want to do that, but I want our community to know that they need to be prepared.
El Centro has been planning trainings to educate the community on how to protect themselves when dealing with these officers.
So, first of all, we need to go back to know your rights, the community. We need to let people know that they need to.
You don't have any fucking rights. You're here illegal. What are you talking about? Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Shout out to my man Aster J. He says, listening to Wiki get exposed was comedy gold. Almost cracked a rib laughing. Whenever I get down, I'll replay it. God, dog.
To carry with them, like some of the executive orders say that they need to prove that they've been here for 2 years or more.
Victor reminds the immigrant.
Nah. Prove that you broke into our country over 2 years ago. No, fuck no. Salute to my man Darren. He says, I'm from Elkhart, and sons are a wreck as fuck. Oh shit! So Elkhart is if it's near South Bend, if that shit near South Bend, it ain't shit. Let's see. So this is that guy, man.
You always say the bet on black.
Yeah, if you helping these people, man. We found a guy who pushed the girl onto the subway tracks in New York. It's the smiling. It's the smiling. God,
They just don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They'll be fine. He'll probably say something like, man, God got me.
Hey, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Just move up, move up.
I'm famous now. Everybody look at me.
I'm working too, man. Okay?
Mama, I made it.
I'd like to put your hand out the way. Come on. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just give it a chance now. It's just too much dignity.
Yeah. Drag his ass by his fucking
Yeah, man.
ankles.
Yeah, drag that nigga up out of there. At least about 4 people to do it.
I got you. It's easier to get it. Oh, yes, sir. Is there anything you'd like to say to the victim?
Damn. He said no comment, smile.
Man, this nigga, I'll tell you. This is his best. This is the best day of his life. All this nigga want to do is be famous, infamous. It don't
Do
matter.
you regret what you did? All the reasons to the victim. Do you have any remorse for your actions?
Damn.
Why would you push someone into a train? Voices.
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 Nigga, you ain't hear no voices. Shut the fuck up. He already trying to get his insanity plea in, slick ass nigga. No voices.
Nigga ain't shit. Shit, Trump needs to talk to some African warlord and try and figure out the proper punishment for somebody like him. You know, what do you do?
A tire
Cut off his
around the
head.
neck, man.
Yeah,
A tire
hey,
around
man,
the
hey,
neck.
how about it?
Gasoline.
How about it? Yeah, but
A
you gotta do it
tire.
in public.
A tire, some
You know, that's
gasoline,
bullshit.
a tire, some gasoline, and a lighter, and just a stick, man. Because over there in Africa, they beat you with they torture you, and it's so bad, and that they make you light the tire on fire.
Yeah,
They
it's
torture
like
you. They
there has to
torture
be.
you. They torture you until you get so tired of the torture that you're just like, all right, fuck it. I'm ready to end it, and then you light the tire. That shit is they over there, man. They on some different shit over there in Africa, man.
Yeah.
Now here to a story you'll see only on CBS News New York. The NYPD says transit crime is down 35%. But in just the last 2 days, a woman was pushed onto an oncoming train. And then on another train, a young father was randomly stabbed. Jennifer Bisram spoke with him tonight.
He's a Bronx father who usually does not take the subway, but he says Sunday morning, while on his way home from work, he was stabbed multiple times by a man he never met on a train at the station.
I was on the train, and I just, you feel like someone just keeps staring at you. God just kept staring at me. I was standing by the door, and then he got him too. And like his shoulder touched my shoulder. So that's when I turned around. I'm like, bro, why are you so close to me? So as soon as the doors opened, that's when he started stabbing me.
25-year-old Devontae Walters tells CBS News New York it happened on his way home from work Sunday morning on a number 5 train in the Bronx.
I was blacking out, thinking I was going to die, thinking I was never going to see my daughter again.
He says he fought back, and eventually the suspect took off. He's still on the run. Walters had to get multiple stitches.
I got to.
Damn. Old school New York with the big ass wave cap, the big ass dumb wave cap with the cape on the back, man. This an old dinosaur from New York City, man. Damn, just stabbing motherfuckers up on the train.
He's still on the run. Walters had to get multiple stitches.
I got stitches here,
Man,
back of my ear. I got staples in the back of my neck.
Oh, he was trying to. Oh, he was trying to get him up out of there. All the stab wounds.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you. When you see people wearing a do-rag like that, I mean that's how niggas in the pen wear them. Niggas that have been locked up for like 20 years, 15 years.
All the stab wounds was above the neck, man. He was trying to get homie up out of there. Damn.
A staple on my back, and this was the worst one.
And Monday morning in Washington Heights, police say a 23-year-old woman was pushed into an oncoming aid train while she was on her way to work. She struck the train, then fell back onto the platform. Thankfully, she's expected to survive. Police say the man arrested had several priors.
They need more authority on the train.
It comes as CBS News New York went underground last week with police, homeless outreach workers, and the city's senior advisor on severe mental illness to see what's being done to keep.
This goofy ass mother. He looked like the teacher on South Park, don't he? What's that teacher's name on South Park? Forgot his name.
The one who went to sex change.
Yeah, the weird ass teacher.
Yeah,
Forgot his name.
I wasn't. I watched South Park, but I wasn't really. a fan.
Garrison. Is that them? MK.
Oh, yeah.
MK.
Garrison.
Mr. Garrison, yeah. Mr. Garrison.
Homeless outreach workers and the city's senior advisor on severe mental illness to see what's being done to keep New Yorkers safe. City and state officials say they're adding more cops on trains overnight and providing services to those taking shelter in the subway system. But Walters says it's not enough.
I never, in a million years, I never thought it would happen.
And we've learned extra officers have been added on trains and platforms in the Bronx. It's still unclear if this is one of those lines. In the Bronx, Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
And the White House is claiming victory after a showdown with Colombia over deportation flights. President Trump threatening the country with tariffs and a travel ban, and the Colombian president
Mr. Mackey, yeah, Mr. Mackey, whichever one. It's two of them. Yeah, it's 2-1 with the puppet.
Garrison is the principal. Or?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but I know it's one of them motherfuckers. He looked like. I don't know their names like that. But yeah, that fucker. Waukegan, Illinois woman devastated that ICE took her dad. Wow, that sucks, man. We're devastated that your dad broke into our country. So we're both devastated, baby. Let's trauma bomb. Let's see. Worst country in the world, Afghanistan. Oh, let's see. Oh man. What else do we have going on?
Fighter was found guilty of sexually assaulting 3 homeless women in Portland. 32-year-old Zachary Andrews was found guilty on all charges, including rape, sex abuse, strangulation, kidnapping, and more. The assaults were reported between October of 2021 and October of the following year. The victims were a 40-year-old woman living in a tent near the Greyhound station in Northwest Portland in October of 2021. Also a 47-year-old woman in a camp near North Montana Avenue and North Failing Street in March of 2022. And a 60-year-old woman in a tent behind the Kaiser facility located on North Interstate Avenue. That attack happened in September or early October of 2022. Sentencing is set for Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingram. This is the Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. As always, thank you for joining us. Just getting started. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
Nobody's coming in, and nobody's coming now because they know they're not going to be able to come in. So we've really stopped something that was very, very serious. But we have to get the bad ones out. We have many murderers, many very bad people in our country that they've allowed because of a ridiculous, actually stupid, open border policy.
956. That's the number of illegals, most with criminal records, who were deported by ICE just yesterday. In total, there have been 2,370 arrests of border crashers since January 23rd. That's about an average of 592 a day. These were child molesters, these were gangbangers, these were drug and human traffickers and domestic abusers. Yeah, there were rapists too. Meet Edgar de la Cruz Manzo, convicted child rapist and Mexican national, arrested by ICE in Seattle on Saturday. And there are just cold-blooded killers in the bunch too, like Cesar Augusto Polanco, who hails from the Dominican Republic and was just picked up in Boston a few days ago. Now, seeing the deportation flights begin, the troops on the border, the no-nonsense Tom Homan doing what he does best, enforcing the law, protecting the homeland, this is all extremely positive. It has a phenomenal deterrent effect on anyone thinking of coming here at this point. Now, one would think that keeping vicious criminals off the streets would be uncontroversial. How's that controversial? But singer, actress, and skincare entrepreneur Selena Gomez, she's very upset.
Just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. Oh, maybe.
No, this is performative. This is so performative. Very performative. Very, very performative bullshit. She's trying to do this. She's virtue signaling. She's
How many takes? How many takes?
Yeah, exactly. This is fake and phony, bitch. We don't believe you. I'm sure a lot of your help, because she's super rich, is and then she has that Gomez name, but she's really not like she's not like a Chicano. She like one of the ones that's like 90% white. She's like very white, fucking Latino, man. She live a whole different life than those darker ones, man. Yeah, stop it, woman. Shut the fuck up.
People are getting attacked. Children.
No one even cries like that.
I don't understand.
Nobody.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't.
Ma'am.
I think it does more harm. Like,
how about
I think
this?
That people are so good.
Go ahead. Now go ahead.
I just think that people are so tired of this that, like, literally the only people left to back this up is the pro-blacks, the Roland Martin types, and like the pedophile cult CNN types. That's it. Everybody else is tired of that. Everybody else is tired of the actors acting like they're so scared.
This woman needs to make a song, man. She a singer, right? You want to help out? Make a song in Spanish and tell them in Spanish. Tell them not to come over here, man. Or go down to the border with a big ass sign and shit, and fucking say, "Don't come."
Hey,
way that'll save
put
you.
out a song. If she put out a song talking about how it's sad that they're leaving, do that. At least that shit might be a hit.
Yeah, there's plenty you can do, man. Look at that fake cry face. Like this is disgusting. This is more disgusting. This is more disgusting than anything, man. Using this situation to like try to like get your fucking social credit score up with the wokes and trying to like, you know what I'm saying, virtue signal and show how much of a good person you are by your tears and shit. This is disgusting. She's reprehensible.
Ain't 2020 anymore.
She's awful. This woman is awful. I lost a lot of respect for this whore.
This is gonna age. It's gonna age terribly.
I'll try everything, I promise.
Well, she's really crying there. Well, she tried until the fierce online backlash, and then Gomez deleted that insipid, weepy post.
Oh,
notice she said, "My people are getting attacked." One of my people. Is she an illegal alien committing crimes? Those aren't her people. Now, given that she's worth an estimated $1.3 billion, good for her, according to Bloomberg, I imagine Selena Gomez could establish homes for migrants in their home countries where they're actually citizens. But no, she apparently thinks that working people should be punished by having these illegals flood their communities. And speaking of billionaires, and even worse than Gomez not caring about the safety of the American people, is a governor not caring about the safety of the American people. Enter shameless deceiver, Illinois' J.B. Pritzker.
They're going after people who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs. Why are we going after them? These are not people who are causing problems in our country, and what we need is a path to citizenship for them. We also need to protect people, at least the residents of Illinois and all across the nation, who are just doing what we hope that immigrants will do.
Wait, did he say protect people? What a farce. Chicago is already reeling from gangbanger crime. They don't need any more problems. And raise your hand if you're tired of these rich politicians and CEOs and celebrities trotting out their immigration sob stories. I used to do this on my radio show years ago, complete with music. But every time enforcement is actually carried out or ramped up, it's always the valedictorian. It's always, it's the same thing. But first of all, if you're in the country illegally, and especially if you're a criminal, you are a deportable alien under U.S. law. And yes, the term alien is correct. Others here on phony claims of asylum, they are deportable as well. But just because wealthy Americans like cheap labor, that doesn't change what's true. Now, Trump won, and he said this tonight when he was in Florida giving that speech to the Republicans. He won in large part because of his pledge to deport millions of illegals. And I mean millions, not thousands, millions. The explosion of the illegal population coast to coast has had hideously destructive effects on local communities, on their schools, on their healthcare budgets, and of course, the crime, including against children, as we've seen with recent horrors in Boston, where local authorities had released this freak into the community. And there are tens of thousands of other violent illegal alien criminals still loose across America. And as far as the argument that garden variety illegal immigration is a victimless crime, you know what I say to that? Bull. Working families, first-time job seekers, as usual, they suffer the most. And also kids in schools that are overloaded with ESL students. Budgets are crunched. Of course, wealthy Democrats, though, like JB, like Gavin Newsom, with their multiple homes and their private jets, they float above the misery they're willing to inflict on you. But they ought to be very careful here, because interfering with a federal law enforcement operation is a crime. Listen closely to his state AG, who parses his words very carefully.
I have no intent on interfering with legal immigration enforcement processes. The state of Illinois is that we have a trust act that says that local and state law enforcement resources cannot be used for such unless there's a federal criminal warrant. I'm going to stand by our Constitution. I'm going to stand by our state law.
What the Open Borders Uniparty did to America is, I'm sorry, it's treasonous. And until we remove all the threats to the homeland, we should have a pause on all immigration to the United States. We must get rid of this backlog. It is massive, in the tens of millions. And 1,000 a day is sadly, it's just a drop in the bucket. We need 10 times that number, which is possible if states and local officials actually cooperated.
Yep.
And you know what happens when America becomes, as Teddy Roosevelt warned all those years ago, a polyglot boarding house? Look at what went down in Dallas over the weekend.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
And we need not forget the NGOs and other groups that take in huge amounts of federal money to settle and help process illegal aliens, like the Catholic Charities.
I'm an attorney at Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee in the Refugee and Immigration Services Program. This is a video about knowing your rights if Immigration and Customs Enforcement approaches you. If you are undocumented and immigration officers come to your workplace, be aware of the following. First, do not panic and do not run away. If you are questioned, you may tell them you want to remain silent. You can refuse to sign any or all paperwork until you've had the opportunity to speak to a lawyer.
All the money has to be cut off to these groups, all of it. This money should be spent on American homeless individuals, drug addicted, vets on the streets, the elderly living alone. All of this, it's got to stop. Now, naturally, CBS yesterday tried to pull the immigration sob story routine on Vice President J.D. Vance.
The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops this week condemned some of the executive orders signed by President Trump, specifically those allowing immigration and customs enforcement to enter churches and to enter schools. Do you personally support the idea of conducting a raid or enforcement action in a church service, at a school?
As a practicing Catholic, I was actually heartbroken by that statement. If they're worried about the humanitarian costs of immigration enforcement, let them talk about the children who have been sex trafficked because of the wide open border. If you had a violent murderer in a school, of course I want law enforcement to go and get that person out.
Of course.
So what's the point of the question?
Enough with the immigration sob stories. There are just as many American difficulties out there because of the illegal immigrant crush. JD killed it in that interview. And don't you love how Democrats and their pals in the regime media have suddenly become fiscal hawks when it comes to the cost of deporting all the illegals that their policies allowed in?
They want to invest billions of dollars in the mass deportation, which, by the way, will also drive up costs when we lose.
Hey, slut bucket. We're giving all these illegals debit cards, WIC, TANF, diapers, formula.
Exactly.
Hotel rooms. We're giving them fucking vouchers for food. We're doing all this shit. And that's for almost every one of them. Welfare, stipends, all this shit. If we send them home, they'll pay for the deportation. We won't the one-time pay cost of deporting them is pales in comparison to the months and months and years of giving these fuckers fucking a life, you know what I'm saying, of a working class American. We're subsidizing them as if they fucking are like somebody who works 40, 50 hours a week while they sit on their asses and fucking catcall women that happen to pass by the fucking shelter and fucking just be a fucking nuisance, man. So that's that. When you talk about the cost, what about the cost of that? You fucking slut bucket, you whore.
Lose hardworking immigrants that have been here for.
Hey, I just want to say, and think about the people that push this stuff. Like, a lot of they end up being powerful people, but their kids end up being transgender, like going full throttle with the transgender experiment.
Yeah,
so it's almost like
if you in Hollywood, it's kind of like a status symbol to have a trans kid in Hollywood. It's a status symbol, like you should show up at a party.
It's like a blood sacrifice. It's like sacrificing your children to this religion.
Yeah, to show up at a party with a transgender kid in those circles up there, in those circles, it's like it's like you're very interesting. You're more progressive. You're so progressive. You have a trans kid, and then all the other parents are like, "Oh, I want a trans kid." So then they fucking try to fucking make their fucking kid make one of their kids trans. It's these people are wicked. They're sick. They're evil, and
their power has finally been stripped.
I can't wait till Trump attacks that trans shit, man. I know he's already written a couple of executive orders, but I can't wait till that trans shit, because there's no such thing as a trans child. A trans child should be fucking should be stricken from the fucking the American lexicon. What is a trans child?
Well, I think I was listening to, there was a time I was listening to Pierce Morgan and he had Bill O'Reilly on. And Bill O'Reilly, I pretty much think he said it best. And he was like, that transgender movement, it was just that first step into just changing everything.
Yep.
Completely changing everything and then coming back with this, I don't know what kind of regime you would call it, but I mean, the only thing that I can call it is satanic.
Yep, that shit is wicked. Make sure you support. Make sure you support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Take the $5 challenge, help out the channel. Let's go. This fucking rat ass whore right here.
Costs when we lose hardworking immigrants that have been here for decades, expect prices to go through the roof.
His plans to deport undocumented migrant workers and put tariffs on imports would likely drive up the cost to build more homes.
These sorts of things are going to cost a lot of money. Going to need a lot of money to fund what he wants to do at the border, how he wants to deport millions of undocumented immigrants.
Oh, yeah. Now they want to cut costs. Where were they 4 years ago? Now, Tom Homan has the best response to all of this.
There's consequences for entering the country illegally. If we don't show there's consequences, you're never going to fix the border problem. Congress has a mandate to give us money we need. What price you put on national security? What price you put on all these young ladies have been raped and murdered and burned alive? What price you put on that? What price you put on Lincoln Riley's life? What price you put on national security?
America needs to be America again. Immigration, the right kind. Once we get our house in order, it's beautiful. People who love our country, our culture, our language, our flag, it's a beautiful thing. But
I don't even think that that's a beautiful thing. I don't think that it's a beautiful thing. I don't believe it's enough people here. There's enough people in America, man. We don't need no more people, man. We don't need we need to like consolidate. You need to become more insular and xenophobic because
I heard a new word.
Hold on. You gotta become more xenophobic because the world, the other countries in the world are you got BRICS. The other countries in the world are starting to like try to chip away at America's power from a lot of different avenues, a lot of different ways, and America needs to circle the wagons, as they would say, circle the wagons and become. We already the big dog. We need to act like the big dog, and it needs to be a fucking a privilege to come to this country. Like if you get citizenship in America, you should be like people in your home country should brag about you. Like you should be a legend in your home country. Like when you go back to your home country, they should throw a fucking parade for your ass because you are a special motherfucker because you got citizenship in America. Not just fucking willy-nilly. It gotta mean something, man. Go ahead, man.
That's true. Oh no! Well, all I want to say, there was a new word that I learned, paleoconservatism. But it's like I'm like that's what, and it's kind of everything that you just mentioned. But I think that's what it's about. That's basically what Henry Ford believed in.
Yeah, man. It's facts.
Divided loyalties are poisonous to our national purpose. But the left, they want us at each other's throats. They love it. They love scenes like that in Dallas. Constant strife. They depend on it. Remember Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals? It's all in there. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Look, we're only a week.
Salute to my man Steve S, man. Shout out to Steve S, man. Ock Nation Hall of Famer, man. My man, Boy Kachina, man. Boy Kachina says, wow. Boy Kachina says, salute the wicked and the nation, all our friends and allies into enemies, cremation, Deluxe 247. Shout out to Deluxe 247. Yeah. Yeah, man. Boy Kachina, man. We looking out, we waiting on Wicked, man. If Wicked, hopefully Wicked lets us know, man, he's still in America. Maybe I'm sure they got Wi-Fi in Mexico, so if he's been deported, I'm sure he can still come through. No excuses, Wicked.
Weekend, and so far so good. But with approximately 15 million illegals here, probably more, Tom Homan and the DHS will need to move with deliberate speed. They'll need to get creative. Everyone here illegally needs to return home so we can have peace in our home. And that's the angle. Joining us now is Vashon Tunsil, Chicago resident and activist, and Joe Borelli, minority leader of the New York City Council. Vashon, Tom Homan's deportations in Chicago, you heard your governor and you've heard your mayor. They're really upset by this. They say, oh, we're not going to interfere, but.
Okay, I just want to say this. First thing I want to say is thank you, Tom Homan, for doing an absolute great job for cleaning up the city of Chicago. I know you're not done yet. And I have another thing to say to Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker. How do you guys sleep at night knowing that there are rapists out here that committed these heinous crimes against the children and the women? How do you guys sleep at night knowing that we're $500 million in debt when it comes to these illegals? How do these men sleep at night knowing that you're putting illegal immigrants that are committing crimes over the American citizens? I just can't believe that they're doing this.
Well, and Joe, each illegal immigrant in the United States, I got an illegal alien. Immigrants are the people we welcome in because they want to be part of the national fabric. They want to contribute to the society. But Joe, they cost on average $8,000 a year in subsidies, healthcare, schooling, all the other vouchers they receive from various entities. So the idea that this doesn't cost us anything, this costs us hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah, we have the receipts here in New York. So far, the migrant crisis has cost $6.5 billion with a B out of pocket. So if there's no other elected,
that's just in New York City. Wow. And they're whining about how much it's going to cost to get them out of here for good. That's crazy, man.
Official in New York, maybe it's just me, but I want to say thank you to President Trump. Thank you to Tom Homan, because as a taxpayer in this city, I don't know how long we can possibly sustain this wave of illegal people living on our dime. I mean, thankfully, we have seen a reduction in the numbers thanks to some of the work that Trump has done on the border already. So we are closing some of our migrant shelters. But how do we get back that $6.5 billion that could have gone to schools, to hospitals, to nurses, to firefighters, or even, making the flowers in the park grow nicer? All these things were taken from us because the Democratic Party fundamentally failed us at the border and here in our large cities.
Well, Vashon, what's happening in places like Fairfax County, Virginia, which is right outside of D.C., is a very wealthy area, but the public schools have seen a decrease in enrollment. COVID, but a lot of the politics in public schools, a lot of especially Christian parents have pulled their kids out. So the illegal influx of students is actually helpful to the teachers' unions, a whole new generation to propagandize to, I guess. So that's also kind of an unholy alliance, along with Catholic Charities, sadly, Lutheran Services, all these other NGOs.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. We have to just start putting Americans first. Like, it's just as simple as that. And I believe Tom Homan is doing the right job when it comes to putting Americans first. And I just want to say this to all the criers out there who are crying over the undocumented immigrants who's been here for years and whatever, like Selena Gomez. Tom Homan has already made this clear. If you are here illegally, you're not off the table. You are committing a crime within itself if you're here illegally in America.
Yeah, I mean, again, but they just want to say, oh, that doesn't matter. Well, that's why we have millions of people here, Joe. It does. If they told the world that if you come here illegally, you can stay indefinitely. They broadcast that to the world, and you in New York are suffering, and you in Chicago and Oakland and St. Louis and little towns across America, you're all suffering as a result. Joe.
Right. I mean, Tom Homan's fundamentally right. He talked about consequences as being the negative and being the reason people don't come. But the consequences when they're giving you free stuff and free healthcare and free schools and fundamentally the life that many of them do hope for, of course, more people are going to come. It doesn't take a genius to realize it. In fact, even Eric Adams tried to fly down to South America at one point during this crisis to try to convince people that this wasn't in their best interest. But until we stopped giving them, basically everything they possibly need for free, they weren't going to stop coming. That changed when Donald Trump took office on day one, and I suspect it's going to get better from here on in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have to be removed, and it's got to be a pace that it's going to be hard to maintain, but we just have to do it. Vashon, Joe, thank you so much. All right, the president of the country, Colombia, not the university, apparently thought that America had no right to return the Colombian nationals living here illegally and refused to accept our repatriation flights. So in response, Trump immediately announced tariffs on Colombia, which set off the usual gas bags.
The only way that Donald Trump knows how to, quote, lead is by acting like a bully. That doesn't demonstrate anything other than incompetence.
That just seems like something that is a really bad idea.
This show.
None of these people
here to be annoying.
None of these people know anything about the way the world works. Every other leader in the world is a fucking bully. If any of those leaders had the power of America, the military might, the economy, the status on the world stage, do you understand the things they would be doing? I mean, they would be doing grievous, egregious things. Donald Trump is just he's bound by the United States, the three what do they call it? The three parts of justice: the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. Three branches. He's bound by the three branches of government. He's bound by the Constitution. Those other countries, man, those leaders would, I mean, you would see, I'm talking about, they would bomb their fucking their enemies into the Stone Age, man. They would definitely have slavery. Like, it was slavery if an Arab guy was in charge of, if an Arab country was as powerful as the United States, they would like literally have slavery. Like, it would just be like open. Like,
they would have made you submit to Allah or behead you.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Turn all the aggressive blacks into eunuchs right away.
Yep.
Pull your way onto a tarmac in a sovereign state.
But they were wrong, of course, because using a strong hand against foolish leaders actually does work. Now Colombia is crawling back to us, even sending the foreign minister and ambassador here to smooth things over. And yes, they will accept Colombians who return as deportees. Joining us now, Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House. Kevin, it's good to see you tonight. This is something to behold, with the left refusing to learn what just happened in the presidential election, and again, standing up for the illegals over the rights of Americans. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. But what's so remarkable is, when are they going to learn what President Trump says he means? Not only did that flip, the Colombian president offered to send his own presidential plane to start picking them up to bring them back. Good. That is the strength of what President Trump was able to handle. And it was only like in a 6-hour time period. But it also sent a message to everybody else across the world. You're not going to treat America that way. And what's so unique when you look back at this, remember Joe Biden saying he needed the tools to protect the border?
Yeah, America, we're like that gentle giant. We're like the big guy who doesn't want to hurt anybody, who, you know what I'm saying, is puts up with bullshit from smaller people because he's scared of his own strength. No, no more being the gentle giant, man. We're fucking the fucking bully now, man, and we're fucking coming for your lunch money.
Yeah.
And
No, but they know that we're peaceful people. That's why they hate the state of Israel so much, because we're tied to the hip. But as far as it's, I don't know, man. It's everybody is about to fall in line, and it's really because Trump's there. Because Trump's there, he makes himself so accessible that it's like you just can't root against him.
salute,
Only the
salute to John Black, man. He says this is to go towards your kids or to save the wicked world from being deported. It's up to you. I think you know what, man. Wiki got a lot of them groups, man. There's a lot of groups we just cover trying to help the illegals, man. I think I'll take that and spend it on my kids, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate America first, my American kids. I'll use that 5 on my American kids, man. We still haven't determined whether Wicked is an American, so uh, you know, America first. Um, let's see. Let's see what else is going. Oh, wow.
Also tonight, Philadelphia police investigating a deadly shooting at a home. This happened on the 4100 block of Leidy Avenue in Parkside just after 8:30. When officers arrived, they say they found 2 men had been shot. The 56-year-old man who lived there later died. A 45-year-old man is in stable condition. Investigators say they have a strong lead on the shooter's identity. We're also told that while trying to help the victims, a dog bit an officer's boot and the officer's partner discharged their weapon, killing the dog.
Hey, man. Um, let's see. Wow.
We begin here at 6 tonight with the trial of 3 men accused of running a drugging and robbery scheme that ended with 2 people dead. Alice Gaynor is covering the trial and was in court as one of the victims took the stand.
Jaquan Hamilton, Robert DeMeo, and Jacob
Oh, yeah, I
Barroso
remember this.
listened as a man took the stand detailing one night in April 2022 when he met a group of 4 men who came up to him at a Hell's Kitchen club, explaining these people were really friendly and really welcoming and really complimented me on my looks and complimented me on different things. He told the jury he invited the men back to his place where his friend also met them, explaining they drank some beer and smoked marijuana, and that's the last thing he remembered. He told the jury he woke up and realized his phone, laptop, and wallet were gone, as well as all the prescription medication in his bathroom. The defendants, all in their 30s, are accused of running a drug and robbery scheme from 2021 to 2022 outside of Manhattan gay bars and nightclubs, stealing cell phones, credit cards, and other personal identifying information. It's alleged they offered substances laced with fentanyl to seemingly intoxicated people they befriended exiting these establishments in order to incapacitate them. 2 of the 5 victims, Julio Ramirez and John Umberger, died. According to the indictment, in April 2022, Hamilton and Barroso approached 25-year-old Ramirez, a social worker, outside a bar and left him incapacitated in a cab, stealing his phone and other property. Fentanyl and heroin were found in his system. In May 2022, it's alleged Hamilton and DeMeo approached 33-year-old Umberger, a political consultant, outside a club, eventually leaving him incapacitated in an apartment, stealing thousands of dollars. Cross-examination of this witness will be tomorrow. All 3 defendants have pleaded not guilty. Outside of Manhattan Criminal Court.
Those dudes are cooked. They ain't never coming home.
Yeah, no,
But
man. I mean, yeah, those are the worst people that you want to do that to.
they are done, man. They can cancel Christmas. Um, let's see. Okay. Wow. Hit the like button, man. Uh, Salute to everybody out there, man. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta take my car get inspected in the morning, man. Um, any final thoughts, man?
Hey, shoot, no final thoughts. Actually, well, one thing I wanted to say, hey, keep doing what you're doing with this with these WNBA highlights. Because let me tell you something, I officiate basketball at
Uh,
UIL here, and we got a white girl. We got a white girl thing going on. These
the
white
white
girls
girl
are out
nice.
there, huh?
The
I
white
mean,
girl
I'm not
nice.
saying. Well, they're not. I mean, we're, I'm not going to say that they're nice, but you get a couple of them on your team, and they can win you some games because they can dribble. They can dribble. I mean, they can dribble while looking up. You know what? Rather than looking at the basketball, they look up.
Mhm.
They know their shots. They're gonna make. They're probably gonna shoot. Maybe about somewhere around 35 to 40%
Three.
from their little mid-range shots or their threes,
Mhm.
wherever they take. I'm just saying there's a Caitlin Clark effect going on.
Oh
So
wow. They're better
that's
than the
just my
sisters.
opinion.
They're better than
Huh?
the sisters. They're better
No, no,
than.
no, no, no. By no means they are not. But because you still the sisters, they're aggressive. You know, they bully all of them. So these little white girls be crying and shit. But they're out there and they want to play. You know that they practice shooting and things like that. They have their little. They're not. They're. It's not like what I'm used to. These
The
girls
gap is
are.
closed. The gap is closed.
Yeah, so you if you have a few of these white girls on your team, they can care they can win you basketball games, you know, because you just need about one or two talented black girls and then maybe about two or three white girls because they're coachable. If you teach them how to dribble and how, you know, they're gonna take the time and practice that.
High
They,
IQ.
they
They're high IQ. They know how to play the game. They know how to like
they know how to play team basketball, but
yeah,
if we're talking
exactly.
about one-on-one they will lose like 10-3 because they're not aggressive.
Right.
So they're good wing people. They're good people that will shoot set shots, and I think that's a Caitlin Clark effect. And one more, and all right, and so I wanted to tell you, I think that you're done what you got going on with the WNBA. I mean, I just think that you 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 have a niche that is going to be money, future money. And the only other thing I just wanted to ask, have you paid attention to that Ryan Clark, Marcellus Wiley thing they got going on?
From a distance, from a distance. I haven't gotten too deep into it, but I've watched it from a distance. I haven't watched of all Marcellus Wiley's replies, but
Oh,
I've gotten in Ryan Clark so many times, man. That it's not even funny, man.
you should.
I've dragged him, man.
Yeah, he's a fuck. Well, you should check out Marcellus Wiley's replies because I mean, this dude is he is you know how you have your thing, you got your steez, it's what you do
Right,
even with your country, even with when it comes to you producing country music, you know, that's your
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Marcellus Wiley, he has his thing because while he is basically outclassing the bum Ryan Clark, then he's gonna go ahead and drop a freestyle on him. That's
Yeah,
like
I heard
not
him
half
freestyle.
bad.
I heard
So
him
I'm
drop.
just like,
Yeah,
I like this guy. I like this guy.
yeah. Ryan
He's
Clark is light work though. Ryan Clark is light work, man.
very
He's
much,
he
very much.
he's he's a very well spoken, very articulate guy, but His brain is rotted with racism and BLM bullshit, so he can't even use his intelligence. He handicaps himself with all the race bullshit because he could be a special commentator, man. He could have a great career at that, but he rotted his brain with all that BLM bullshit. But yeah, man. Thank you for that, though. Yeah, I dropped some Caitlin Clark, some women's basketball videos today. Most likely do some tomorrow, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace out.
Salute to the king.